Following a short break from making music, rapper Nadia Nakai is back to share the most vulnerable part of her life, which is overcoming loss. Nakai lost her partner, aka, who was shot and killed outside a popular restaurant in Florida Road in Durban last year. Ahead of a tribute album to aka, Nadia has released a single, Never Leave. She joins us now to talk more about getting back to the music, love, loss, and a lasting legacy and an influence of aka in her music. Nadia, thank you so much for joining us on Newsfeed AM. Before we even get into the music, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm surviving. I'm working, trying to keep myself busy, but I'm okay.
Now, it's going to mark a year next month. How would you describe this past year for you?
I think this is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this, just losing someone so close to you. So it was difficult. I put myself into the music, and hopefully I could find healing from that, but I'm not sure what healing really looks like. But I'm trying my best to survive and just move forward, and yeah.
Now, when you hear such intros, you know, that the repetition, you know, that we have to say that your partner, aka, was killed, does it ever even register? Does it ever sink in?
It doesn't feel real. Like, I feel like he wasn't, I know it's probably weird to say this, but he wasn't the dying type. I never expected that this is how he would go, that he would go so soon. I just always used to imagine how it would be when we were older. So it was just extremely shocking. And I think because he's such a big superstar, you see him on TV, you hear his music, it's constant not a reminder, because I mean it's not something that you need to be reminded of, but you constantly get to see him and people talking about him. And a part of me doesn't know if that helps, if it makes it better or worse, but yeah, I guess we just have to cope the way that we best know how.
Getting back into the studio, how difficult was that? I mean, I'm assuming it must have reminded you even more, you know, and kind of sometimes poked at the wound, but you're saying it was also kind of a healing journey. And what I love about your statement, it says you've never been in touch with your emotions as you are right now. It's that kind of vibe that anyone who's experienced loss will be able to resonate with this music.
Yeah, I think also I wasn't sure if it was going to be healing, but I just was trying to find absolutely everything that could help, and I saw how he did it. Everything that he went through, every pain or heartache that he went through, he went straight to the music. So I started recording probably from a month after he had passed at my house, and I never stopped. And from there, that's why there's so many songs, because I've technically been making this music for about a year, because I've just been trying to find an outlet and seeing if it can heal, because you're just trying to find something to just take the pain away. And personally for me, I'm not sure what healing looks like. I'm trying my best, but I think what is the most healing part of making the music is seeing how it helps others, how people feel comforted by the songs, how they tell me their stories about their loss and their grief, and how listening to this song, especially this one, has made them feel better or feel, I don't know, some sort of console or comfort. I think that is the healing part. I'm starting to realize now, once I release the music, that is more of the healing part than actually making it.
That's good to hear as well. And I think what is also good to hear for your fans who are just listening to you now is that you said there were many songs.
Yeah.
So how many songs are we talking about for this album?
I'm not sure for the album, because it initially was supposed to be just a single, and then it graduated to a 4-song EP, and now it's probably going to be a 12-song album. But there's a lot more songs because I had so many sessions. I had so many recording camps where we were working on this, and I was just doing it as like a diary, because I'm not going to therapy, and I feel like, I don't know why it's so difficult for me to go to therapy. I know I need to, but somehow music was just easier for me to go to just talk about how I'm feeling and the pain and everything that's been going on. And because there's so many songs, and I think the songs are also beautiful, they all need to just come out. And not all of them are talking about loss. Some of them are talking about love. Some of them are just talking about companionship. Some of them are paying homage to some of these songs that are already out there. Yeah, so it's an interesting project. Very, very interesting.
A tribute.
Enjoy it. It's a tribute project, yeah.
An extended love letter, would you say?
Yeah, well, I put a post on my Instagram saying letters to him. And it's letters to Kenan, but also letters to God. I think I had a lot of difficult conversations. My relationship with God this past year was very difficult for me. I've always been a God-fearing woman, but I was very angry at him at this time. I felt like he forgot about me. And I had to find my way back to God. And that was quite tricky for me, because I don't think I'm the best Christian. I don't think I can pray very well, but in this moment, I've never been more spiritually inclined or spiritually curious about what is there after life, because Keenan is there. So that's been very interesting.
Your honesty and self-reflection is quite refreshing, I must say.
Thank
But
you.
let's talk more about Never Leave. Tell us a little bit about it, what it's about.
So Never Leave is a song where I'm just wishing that he never left us, all of us, not just me, from the family to his fans to us. And I just wish that he didn't leave the way that he did, or he didn't leave at all, and not just him not leaving the living world, but just, I wish he never left the house. I wish he just stayed there, you know. And I featured an artist called Cash CPT, and he's an amazing artist. He reminds me so much of Keenan. It's crazy. I didn't know Keenan when he started making his music, when he started his career, but I feel like with Cash CPT, he's starting his career. He's also from Cape Town, which is the city that Keenan is from. And when I see him work, he's so talented. It's easily just for him to just be talented, just to be really good in everything that he does. And I imagine that's what Keenan was probably like when he started his career. So shout out to Cash CPT. He really brought the emotions out for me in this song. Yeah.
When I think about your last track with AKA Dangerous, I mean, it did very, very well. It's a personal fave as well of mine. How difficult was it to get back to the music that brought you guys together, which is almost like a love language that you had together? Yeah. And then to have this tribute for him and continue through that pain.
I think it was extremely difficult, because if you know the type of music I've always made, it's always been for the club. And I think the one sentimental song that I did very well, which is called More Drugs, from years ago. But I knew that I needed to be able to tap into the more sentimental part of me, because that's just the space that I was in. I couldn't really make the music that people have known me for. I just wasn't mentally there. And I knew that I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop working. I couldn't stop recording. I couldn't stop doing what I love. I needed to continue to live, because that's the only option. I can't give up on myself. I need to just continue pushing, and the only way I know how is to be able to do it through the music. So it was tough, but I think lucky for me, I've always been a musician. There'll always be memories of when we worked together, but I'm still Nadia Nakai, and I know how to do this, and I find comfort in it to be able to express myself this way, because I always have my whole career. So I think it's just a difficult way of being able to take what's in your head and your heart and put it onto a song, and how to do it in a way that's genuine and sentimental and honest to me, and not overthink everything. And I think that's what I did. I just kind of poured myself into it, and that was scary in its own, but I think it was a way of therapy a little bit for me.
And you say it was also a bit inspired by him, because he also went to the music, into the studio, whenever he felt any sort of emotion or frustration.
100%. I saw how he did it, and I watched how he worked a lot. And even with this project, I'm collaborating a lot more with other people, other musicians, writers, sessionists, because I saw how he did it when he worked on his music, and that is such a privilege. I don't know how God does things, because it's not like we had known each other our whole life. It's like literally the last year of his life is when we met and got together, and it completely shifted absolutely everything when it comes to how I make music, how I treat people, how I deal with things. It's completely shifted my life, and I don't know why it had to happen the way that it did, but I feel like God might have a reason. I'm hoping that there's a reason for me that it happened the way that it did.
You started writing a month later. When were you able to get back on stage?
I had to get back on stage. It wasn't by choice, because I have bills to pay. I needed to get back to work, and that was probably also about a month and a half after. But I had such an amazing support system. All my friends rallied behind me. I had some people that I just met also were so amazing on how they wanted to support me, and it really just made me believe that there are still good people out there. There are people that will come and support you. And that's the one that touches me the most. Like, wow, people that are just not even family, like people that you just met like probably 3 months ago. They can just open their heart because they know the pain that you're going through, and they just will be there for you. So that one always makes me cry.
What's in the future for Nadia Nakai?
I'm just going to keep going, honestly. I just want to focus on my work. I want to focus on my career. I want to go for everything I've ever wanted, because you realize that time is limited. And I've always been a procrastinator. I've always been like, oh, I'm not good enough to do this. Maybe I need to wait a few years to do a one-man show or whatever. Now I'm going for absolutely everything because you really don't know how long you're going to be here for. And, yeah, and I think that the blessing of being around him just showed me that there's no second guessing yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Braga is a beast, pioneer, icon.
Well, on that note, we do have a little snippet of your new Never Leave track, so hopefully we can play that out. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best to you.
Thank you so much for having me.